Hi, my name is Sean Prinky, and this is my final portfolio for EDU 333, Technology in Teaching and Learning. In this portfolio, I will talk about the 7 ISTE standards for educators and the projects I have completed this semester that best demonstrates each one. The first of 7 ISTE standards for educators is Learner. Under the Learner standard, educators continually improve their practice by learning from and with others, set professional goals to explore and apply, and stay current with research that supports improved student learning outcomes. The project that I use that best demonstrates this standard is my screencast project. Screencast is a tool that captures what is on your computer screen as well as your voice. Some strengths of this tool are it incorporates technology in a way students may not have experienced before. It is more visual than just standing at the board talking, which helps the visual learners in the class. And it saves the teacher from having to physically give the same presentation to all the classes. By using Screencast, the teacher can just play the presentation for each class period and ensure that throughout the day, information given to the earlier classes doesn't accidentally get left out of the presentation given to classes later in the day. One major weakness is that the free version only allows for 15 minutes of runtime, so unless you pay for the full version, you only have 15 minutes. 3 ways Screencast can be used in teaching are to allow absent students to receive the same information that they would have received if they were in class that day. It can be used by the students to give presentations to benefit those who are afraid to talk in front of the class. And it can be used as a how-to to physically show the students the instructions rather than just writing them down where they can be misunderstood. Now I will show you an example of the Screencast project I completed for this class, but to ensure that I have enough time for the rest of my presentation, I only share a couple minutes of it. Hello, my name is Sean Prinky, and my presentation is on why I feel that ranch hunting is not real hunting. I hope that after this presentation concludes, you will agree with me on this subject. First, I will tell you a little bit about me and why I chose this topic. Hunting runs in my blood. All of my ancestors on my dad's side of the family were hunters, and 9 years ago that tradition was passed along to me also. The land we hunt on is owned by the farmer who lives down the road from us, and he gave us his permission to hunt there. Over the 9 years that I have been hunting, I have bagged at least 1 deer each year, including some decent bucks. I chose this topic because every time I watch a hunting show on the Outdoor Channel, the hunters are hunting on a private ranch, and bagging trophy bucks are unlikely to get that big if they were on public land. To me, hunting means going out into the woods and not knowing what you will see. That is what makes hunting so thrilling. But that is not what ranch hunting is. So what is ranch hunting? Ranch hunting is when you go to a private ranch in order to hunt. These private ranches feed, raise, and keep deer in a fenced-in area. People are allowed to hunt on these ranches for a fee. Usually this fee is in the hundreds or thousands of dollars range, depending on where you go. The land area of these ranches are fairly large, so there's still a chance the hunter will not see a deer. However, the chances of seeing a deer on these private ranches is much greater than if the hunter is on public land. Why isn't ranch hunting real hunting? There are 2 main reasons why I believe ranch... Okay, I will stop it there and move on to ISTE Standard 2. The second standard is Leader. The Leader standard states that educators seek out opportunities for leadership to support student empowerment. The project that demonstrates this standard was our Powtoon project. For this project, we had to advertise something using the online tool called Powtoon. I chose to advertise the 1-3 Fishing Fate Black Series fishing rod. Here is a brief example of my Powtoon.
Are you unhappy with how your fishing rod feels in your hands? Are you tired of having to pay a break for fishing and fingering your line? Do you want a quality rod without spending hundreds of dollars? If you have answered yes to any of these questions, you should buy a 1-3 Fishing Fate Black Series rod. Whether you prefer a casting setup or a spinning setup, the Fate Black Series can satisfy all of your needs. Both left and right-handed retrieves are offered, so there's no need to worry about that. The 1-3 Fishing Fate Black Series rods are imported from Japan and feature tangle-free guides with zirconia inserts. This means no more breaks for fishing that untangle your line. The 1-3 Fishing Fate.
Okay, so as you can see, Powtoon is a tool that anyone can use to get their message across in a way that is different and entertaining to the viewer. It also allows for the creators to make their message have an impact on the viewers. Some strengths of Powtoon are that it is easy to use, engaging, can be used for multiple reasons such as education, work, or personal use, and if you are confused on how to do something in Powtoon, there are many tutorial videos to guide you in the right direction. Although these are some good strengths, there are also some weaknesses. The weaknesses are that each slide cannot exceed 20 seconds. In most animations, characters, backgrounds, etc. are only available through the paid version. 3 ways Powtoon can be used in teaching are as teacher-student introductions, to give students directions on an assignment, and as a substitute to a typical PowerPoint presentation. Now I will talk about ISTE Standard 3, which is the Citizen Standard. This standard is when educators inspire students to positively contribute to and participate in the digital world. The project from class that demonstrates the standard is our QR codes project. A QR, or quick response code, is a scannable, easy way to access information as long as you have a QR code reader app on your smartphone. The picture on the slide is an example of one. That's the picture on the right. A strength of QR codes is that you can include not only text, but you can also include pictures and videos as well. Another strength is that it helps those who have a hard time typing because all they have to do is scan the QR code and it will take them to the website, picture, or video without any typing necessary. A major weakness is that you do need a QR code reader to view it. So if you do not have a smartphone or tablet, it is pretty much useless. 3 ways this can be used in education are as a scavenger hunt to get your students moving and out of their seats. It can be connected to the notes so students can scan their QR codes at home and view the notes from that day. And it can be used as an introduction activity by having the students connect their name and something interesting about themselves to a QR code. For one of the QR codes I created for our class project, I connected the CalU website to a QR code. I will now talk about ISTE Standard 4. This is the Collaborator Standard. The Collaborator Standard is when educators dedicate time to collaborate with both colleagues and students to improve their practice. A project I have completed that best demonstrates this standard is our Kahoot project. For this project, we had to create a short Kahoot quiz, so I did mine on technology usage. This is my project. Okay, so you have to go on. And then, okay, so you would go on there and the students would put in the code and then they'd have to put in their username and then you play the game. Kahoot is an online assessment tool that turns learning into a game. The players answer questions, then receive points for the correct answer based on how fast they answer. Some strengths of this tool are educators can collaborate on a single Kahoot game as long as it is shared between them. It offers 4 different types of game/assessment modes, which are quiz, jumble, discussion, and survey. And it turns assessment into something fun for the students. Some weaknesses are that it doesn't benefit students who cannot read or think fast to answer the question. And if you are using a pre-existing Kahoot, you have no idea what is inside it unless you play it. 3 ways Kahoot can be used in the classroom are as a way to assess how well your students are comprehending the material so you know if they are ready to move on, a fun review activity before a test, and as a way to reflect on how well you are doing, as how well the teacher is presenting the material to the students. The designer standard is the 5th ISTE standard for educators, and is when educators design authentic, learner-driven activities by using technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning. A project I completed this semester that demonstrates this standard is the PictoChart project, where we had to create an infographic on a trend in technology and education. And that project is right here. As you can see, I did my project on the pros and cons of gaming in the classroom. The tool I use, PictoChart, is an online tool that allows the creator to create infographics, presentations, posters, or flyers, and offers both a free and paid version. Some strengths are there are plenty of tutorials for reference, 600 plus templates, an option to start from scratch, and hundreds of visuals to make your infographic stand out. Some weaknesses are that all templates and visuals are not available with the free version, and you have to be careful when you place visuals because if you don't place them in the correct order, they may cover up the other ones. I can use this tool in teaching to make classroom posters, to make presentations, and to create a colorful, neat, and unique resume to make myself stand out from the other teacher candidates applying for the same job. The facilitator standard, which is ISTE Standard 6, means educators facilitate learning with technology to support student achievement. The Nearpod project I completed demonstrates this standard. For this project, we created a Nearpod which demonstrated each of the tools that Nearpod has available. Here's my Nearpod project. Through Nearpod, you can teach the lesson and allow students to work through the lesson at their own pace. This happens to be one of the strengths of this tool. No one can be left behind because they work at a slower pace than others. Another strength is that it is engaging and interactive. Some weaknesses are that not everything is available with the free version, and like Kahoot, if you are using a pre-existing one, you don't know if the content is relevant. I can use this in my classroom to allow students to work at their own pace, make my lessons engaging, and receive feedback from every student through the questions asked in the lesson. The final ISTE standard is Analyst. This standard means educators understand and use data to direct instruction and support students in achieving their learning goals. A project I did this semester that demonstrates this standard is Word Cloud. Word Cloud places the words you type in a visual, with bigger words being the words that you use most often. Some strengths of the tool are it can help you realize if you are using the same words over and over again in a paper, and the Word Cloud generator is easy to use because you can just type or copy and paste in order to create your word cloud. A weakness is words like is, are, was, and a may show up as most used because a lot of the time it is hard to avoid using those words. I can use this tool in teaching by having students create a word cloud from their papers to check their word choice, or create a word cloud to show the main idea of the lesson or story. And this is the example of the word cloud that I made for our class. And here are my sources. Thank you for listening.